to have an experience of love at first sight, do we have to practice it? Do we have to build the momentum, and thus the woman has to do the same, so that when the two persons meet, then there is this love at first sight that will last?
Perfect description. In other words, two people tuned into who they really are. Law of attraction bringing them together because of their vibrational equivalency, and because of their alignment, each recognizing the other. Love at first sight.
But both have to practice it? Or the question is, or if someone just, because you say it doesn't matter what the other thinks, doesn't matter what the other person, if you perceive it this way, if you think this way, and if you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, then you see that's the question. Then you will meet that stronger. I mean, your power of influence will be so strong that you will attract.
The piece that is important is that law of attraction is bringing you together because of your vibrational equivalency. So if you're there and she isn't, law of attraction is not going to bring the two of you together. So now it is a possibility that you could have practiced yourself there and you could be consistently there, and the other is occasionally there and just happened to be. And law of attraction says, quick, while she's there. And now you have a connection, but it may not be lasting because she hasn't practiced herself into a stable vibration there. We would say that 85, 92, 7, 9% of relationships are like that, where one more than the other, you come together, you don't maintain it, and then you don't like each other very much for very long.
And is it that if the person really always recall, because what happens in most relationships when it's over, people talk about the reason why it stopped. But if we don't do that, only recall the good reasons and the good souvenir, then you build that momentum and you build it?
Precisely.
Is that the way?
You practice yourself into a chronic habit. And then you have a consistent vibration that of course will dip occasionally, but you're usually there. So then the odds are, since you're there more, that law of attraction will find others to match you with.
So the idea is never to talk about anything.
Well, the idea is to understand that you are a vibrational offerer and to do your best to offer the vibration that will yield to you experiences that you want. Our friend was talking a little bit ago about the other shoe dropping, having an experience that she did not want to have, where she experienced negative emotion. But we would like all of you to leave this gathering at the end of this time together no longer condemning yourself for your negative emotion, because it's all part of the process. You just want to do your best to keep... Let's talk about it in this way. So we've been offering in past the story about the merry-go-round in the playground, that the kids are already on it, they've already got it going rather quickly, and you want on, but you can't get on because when you try, there's too much momentum and you just get bounced off in the bushes. Now, if they'll slow it down, then you could get on and then you could speed it up and it could be great fun. So now we want to expand that visual by saying, let's say that you're feeling really, really good. You've been basking, you've been making lists of positive aspects, you've been doing rampages of appreciation, you've been pampering yourself, you went to the beach, you went to the spa, you ate good food, you're feeling really, really good. And so your vibration is in a very high-flying, good-feeling place. So let's take that mental picture of that spinning disc, and let's call that your disc and you're on it. You're feeling great. Now there's another very needy person roaming around the pool, trolling for a man. She feels lonely, she feels rejected, and she's mad as hell and she's not going to take it anymore. So she's moving around. Law of attraction is not going to put her anywhere near your vicinity. In other words, she might see you, but you won't see her. She might talk to you, but you won't hear her. In other words, she's not getting on your wheel. She's not going to get on your wheel. So, but let's say you woke up, you didn't have any hot water, you felt annoyed about one thing or another, you didn't take any time to tune yourself in, you got an email about something that's been bothering you, you found that subject and focused upon it, you called someone and talked to them about it, you managed to get yourself in a sort of funk, and so you're not up here, your disc, your wheel, your vibrational state of being isn't there, your point of attraction, let's call this your grid disc. So it's spinning here. You're ornery, you're annoyed, she's lonely. She's jumping on your wheel. She is. And the way you feel, you can't even tell it's a mismatch. Because it isn't. She looks great. Where have you been all my life? Because you can't remember how you were, you only know how you are. And law of attraction is not factoring how you have been in either. Law of attraction is factoring in how you are, how you are. Ooh. But how you are has a lot to do with how you've been, because you've been practicing yourself into that. In other words, you don't stay up here all the time, but you don't go here, 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 here. Well, not usually. There are extreme situations, but you're usually in the vicinity that you hang out, and so are those who are finding you, you see. So it doesn't matter. We don't want to give you the impression that we are laying any judgment about where your wheel is spinning, whether it's in the high-flying, good-feeling places where the world looks beautiful, or in the low-flying, not-so-good places where things don't look so good. We just want you to know that how you feel and who jumps on your wheel are about the same thing. They're about what you've got going on.
But in this case, you're talking about it won't last. Because it's not serving the intentions.
The thing is, there are a lot of people who jump on those low-flying wheels, and they bang it out together for years and years and years. They're right for each other. They're right for each other. They're miserable, but they're right for each other. You see. So when you talk about something lasting, we want to talk about the only thing that we would focus on, that we would want to be everlasting, is our awareness of our own alignment. And if you're attending to it as best you can, and your partner or whoever you're co-creating with it is tending to it as best they can, you're going to have lots of wonderful moments. And remember, you're not looking for a partner. This is really an important thing to acknowledge. First time we've ever been able to say it this clearly. You're on your wheel. You're feeling really good. You want a partner, but that partner is not essential to your well-being. You've already got that. You've already got well-being. And your partner's not needing your well-being. You're already self-sufficient in the alignment department. And now when you come together, it's just delicious on so many levels, you see. But people who are vibrating on these lower discs, feeling needy or feeling unloved, they keep needing each other in order to validate their existence, and that's what doesn't usually work out very well. They're looking for love in all the wrong places. Now, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we'd take it where we find it. In other words, we would take it where we find it. We would not say, law of attraction, hold off on matching me up with anything, because law of attraction is not going to hold off on matching you up. Law of attraction is matching you up with what you've got going on. We would watch the evidence of what's matching up in order to evaluate where our disc is. And then we would take that information and work on getting our disc to fly.
But between the two, working to have this disc really high and thinking about love at first sight, then
maybe you
go there first, because this will bring it or not.
Well, love at first sight, in other words, what if the person who has the greatest potential of ringing your bells and living happily ever after with you is having a bad day? So it's not love at first sight, it's you're having a bad day. Don't place those restrictions on yourself. Just focus on what you're doing vibrationally and trust that law of attraction will support you with what you're doing vibrationally. And then make your evaluations about how you're doing based upon how you feel and what's coming to you. And then adjust accordingly. Those are really good instructions. Adjust accordingly. People floating into your experience that you're not enjoying so much, they're complaining all the time, they're unhappy, they're looking to you to buoy them up. You might want to change your vibration because they didn't get there accidentally. They got there because there's a significant amount of your vibration that matches their vibration, you see. So if you don't like what's coming, you got to change your altitude. And you're the only one that can do it. But most people say, well, I'll change my altitude, but somebody needs to hop on to help me. And we say, everybody who hops on is right about where you are. Even in that high-flying place, you're still, ooh. You're still reaching for more. So you might want an occasional shoe to drop.
When you say adjust accordingly, in my case right now, I have this woman that I like as a friend, and I don't have sort of the emotion I'm looking for, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So how can I adjust accordingly right now?
By looking for positive aspects, by appreciating the information that is bringing back to you, by positive aspects really is the best way, by looking for things to appreciate, and by not letting that person be your only object of attention. In other words, you see, this is a misunderstanding with a lot of people. When you are vying for a magnificent relationship, you can be on a high-flying disc, never even thinking about a relationship, and the perfect one will come to you. Because you didn't tell the vortex, you didn't fill your vortex full of all of the details of it just now. You've been telling the universe what you want over a long period of time from many different circumstances. So the request is already in place. In other words, your vortex is there. It's up there in that high-flying space. So now, anytime you adjust your vibration upward, now you're approaching and making more accessible to you the filling in of your grid with things in the vortex that are a vibrational match to what you want. Is that a logical understanding? The thing that goes wrong with most people is that they really are looking to others in order to raise their vibration. And that's going about it backwards. And that's what we mean by having knee-jerk responses to life. If you'll be wonderful, then I'll focus on you and I'll feel good. But you got to be wonderful before I can feel good. And we're talking about getting out ahead of manifestation. Now, you're already way out ahead of manifestation because you've filled your vortex. You've filled your vortex full of all kinds of things that you want. And now, your singular day-to-day activity is all pointed toward what's the best feeling thing I can do right now? What's the best feeling thought I can think right now? What's the best I can do for myself? How is my best opportunity to align with the source within me? That's the partnership I'm really reaching for. That's the partnership I'm vying for. And once you achieve that partnership, then everything that's in the vortex with that partner of yours can now flow into a manifested form. In other words, you will begin to realize that in what you call your real life manifested, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, lick it experience.
You did it.
Yeah, really
Thank
good.
you
Yes,
very
indeed.
much.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I don't have a question. I have just two requests. You talked about, and I want to talk about just other people's opinions really should have no bearing on my life. So,
well, that's what Jerry was saying to Esther. If you just foster your own and line up with the source within you and practice it until you own it, until it's steady and sure and therefore easy to come by because you've practiced it. Then when someone else's opinion enters the picture, it bounces off of you. If it's been bothering you and it enters the picture, it'll come right in and poke you around.
Okay, so I really I wanted to just zap you with that, so I need to practice that.
Want to do it? Let's reroute some pipes. So for example, when someone's opinion bothers you, for example, if you want.
Well, I have a person in my life that I really respect their opinion on many things, but...
All right, stop right there. Stop right there. Does that statement, is that a pipe unclogger or a pipe clogger?
Clogger.
This person is usually right. What if they're right about their negative opinion about me? How about, now this is going to surprise you, but how about this for an unclogging statement? That is an opinionated person.
That's unclogging?
Well, it's sort of free-flowing. In other words, some opinions are good, that person feels strongly about things.
That's true.
That person feels strongly about things, and that person says what they feel strongly about. And that person has the right to feel strongly about everything that is perceived.
No, this person is a genius because they practice their opinion daily. They practice what you talk about.
Okay, so a genius. This is a genius who doesn't have a good opinion about me. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably sucky. They're probably right about that too. I should just give up on myself. Or I should try really hard. Oh no, I know what I'll do. I will practice good behavior when I'm around that person. So now, think about practicing good behavior. Can you feel your pressure tank about to explode?
It's a lot of work.
As you're on good behavior around that person? And have you noticed you can't be good enough?
Never.
Their opinion seems to move around just to focus on your flaws. So that's not working out very well, is it?
No.
So what might you say? How are you going to make an end run around that? How are you going to lay new pipe? How are you going to lay new open valve pipe? How are you going to allow what's flowing to you, what you've been asking for? How are you going to allow it to flow? On that statement, what might you say that lets it flow a little better?
Well, I love my opinion actually a lot.
That's pretty head-on, but you do have good opinions, don't you? I have good opinions.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't born to agree with each other.
That's a great
Who
one.
were you born to agree with?
My inner being.
Really? And what do you think this emotion is telling you? That guy's opinion and my inner being's opinion are different.
Yes.
Why would I clog up my pipes over that bogus opinion?
No good reason.
So now you can selectively sift and appreciate that person about this and about this and about this and about this and about this, just not about that. Because most people are not holding you as their object of attention long enough to really practice themselves into a really good vibration. There's too many people for them to focus upon. And most people aren't spinning on their grid disc all the time in a good feeling place. So most people aren't going to give you what you want. You got to go get it for yourself. And once you get it, anybody in the vibrational vicinity will jump on with you and they'll like you.
Ooh.
But your goal isn't to be liked by them, or is it? Is your goal to be liked by them? Let's talk about that. Why not? Doesn't it feel good to be liked? So it's not your primary goal, but it is a benefit of alignment. But it's not what you're going for. What you're going for is harmony. Harmony with the flow. Because life has caused you to put a lot in your vortex, and you're wanting to experience the flow of that. Do you ever get it done? You don't ever get it done. Do you ever get it wrong? Can't get it wrong. Can't get it wrong because it's never done. So why the intense score taking? Why the intense score taking on this ever evolving, ever expanding becoming? You see, do you think that through life that you've come to good decisions?
Hmm?
Do you think that you're still in the process of formulating those decisions?
Yes.
Do you think that you're in the process of modifying decisions?
Yes.
Don't you think that everybody else is too?
They should be.
So, is it productive to try to, in any moment in time, understand everybody's decisions, understand your decisions, get it all lined up, and only go where the good decisions are? Is that even possible? That'll make you feel overwhelmed.
That's right.
That'll clog your pipes. Or does it seem more productive to just pay attention to your alignment, understanding that law of attraction will sift through all of the perspectives and all of the decisions and all of the vibrational points of attraction and all of the grids of all of the people that are all around, and that those in the vibrational vicinity of that which you are will, by powerful law of attraction, make their way into your experience for the enhancement of you and them and us and all that is.
That would be much easier.
So do you really care? Is it important at all to sift through opinions? Is it important to change an opinion? Esther realized the other day, it was before she had written with Jerry, in a very intense effort to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
Because she'd come to a decision that she knew with everything in her was the right decision for her. But she felt like others needed to be convinced about it. And the more she tried to explain to them, the more she clogged her own pipes, and the worse she felt, which made her feel like she had to explain more, until it just got worse and worse and worse and worse until the pressure tank is about to explode. Fortunately, you have sleep. And when you sleep, it takes the pressure off because you can't stay focused. So then you have the opportunity of refocusing, you see. So your human effort, we love you so much, at being understood by those around you is the primary way you introduce pressure and resistance to your experience. And it'd be different if you could ever convince any of them, but we've never seen you effective of that with any of them. Because under those conditions, your power of influence is puny. Under those conditions, you don't make any headway. All you do, jam up your pipe, they've got their pipes jammed up, now you're all efforting and you're all mad at each other about it and you're not flowing. Meanwhile, you could be. See? Really good. Something more?
Yes. The other subject is you always talk about, and you always have, and we've talked about it before, that the essence of this universe, of our being, is of everything is well-being, and that's another thing. I would just love to be zapped with that. Like, I believe you now.
You see, don't you sort of kind of think, if zapping was a good idea, you'd have been zapped before you came?
Yeah.
Isn't there some benefit in finding your own way? There's this free will thing. There's the satisfaction of getting to define. There's the satisfaction of refining. There's the satisfaction of finding your vibrational balance. There's the satisfaction of feeling the evidence of it coming to you. In other words, you don't want to be zapped. You just want to find your way there in the most gentle, easy, flowing way.
I like that. Well, it also it actually reminded me of my previous question. That's your opinion. I believe you, but I need to find my own way to that.
You are an extension of source energy, and you are loved in a way that we can't even find words to articulate. The appreciation that source feels for you is beyond verbal description. Words just aren't enough. Feelings, ripples, vibrations, sensations, there are all kinds of things that are flowing towards you that if your pipes are open, you feel, and if your pipes aren't open, you don't feel. But there could not be more source flowing to you. So, that's the zapping part that you're asking for. But you've got to be zappable.
Yep.
And if source is flowing to you and everyone, then can you see what we were talking about earlier, the benefit that you can offer to others of being one who practice yourself frequently and often into alignment so that you are a conduit for that source to flow, so that when you do hold someone as your object of attention, they receive that extra benefit of your expectation that's down there up close to them in a more vivid way. In other words, that's what the power of influence is. But we really want you to tend to your vibration first. In other words, if you say to us, Abraham, I want to tend to my vibration so that I can help others. We say, that's really nice, but let's just tend to your vibration. Because tending to your vibration does help others. And when you say, I'm going to help that one who needs help, and so I'm going to tend to my vibration, you're not tending to your vibration because you're focused upon the help that that one needs. So you've clogged up your pipes, and now you're just trying harder to make the world a better place when you got nothing to make it better with, you see. So if you're not selfish enough to say to your family, I'm going to Cancun and you're just going to have to deal with it. If you're not selfish enough to say to your employers, I want time off and I'm taking off. If you're not selfish enough to say to yourself, I'm really looking forward to several days that I can spend a little bit of time visiting with Abraham. I can sit in the luxury of letting them help me raise my vibration to a higher place. Then I'm going to go out and put my feet in the sand and my body in the water. I'm going to play with friends. I'm going to drink alcohol and do all kinds of things that feel good to me. I'm going to listen to music. I'm going to bask. I'm going to focus upon my own positive aspects, and I'm going to feel more deserving of well-being coming to me. That's what we want you to do with these days that are before you. We want you to practice your joyful, self-loving point of attraction. We want you to love yourself into the stratosphere. And then we want you to watch what happens, not just here while you're with other lovers, but we want you to watch what happens in the days and weeks and months and years that follow as a result of this personal adjustment that you have allowed for yourself, you see. You work too hard and it gets you nowhere. You try too hard and it gets you nowhere. You don't love yourself enough and that gets you nowhere. It's time for you to chill out, you see. Yeah.
Thank you very much.